Hi, everyone. So I'm delighted to be joined by head coach Matt. Matt, so thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to come and talk to us.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Sorry about the change up in time there, but glad we're able to meet up here.
That's okay. Um, I suppose it's never really off season for you guys. How is your summer going?
Yeah, it's been busy for sure. I usually get in my 4 or 5 calls with Finner each day, and obviously talking to a lot of players, and we're excited about the year. I mean, I think a big difference this year compared to last year is players approach us more so this year that really want to come to Manchester. I think we're building something good here. Obviously, we took some good strides last season, and we're not satisfied with that. We want to keep getting better and competing. But going back to your question, yeah, it's been busy for sure.
Exciting. I suppose. Are you all ready for the wedding?
That's part of the busy schedule. Yeah, I have Saturday, so I have a few days to go. But yeah, so I have the talking to the players and Finner, and then obviously the checklist that the fiance leaves me. So it's yeah, gotten it from all angles right now.
Busy, busy. Yeah, it sounds it. I suppose this is your second time round proper recruiting this time. I suppose you just mentioned there, people are starting to approach you and you're busy with it. Are you finding it's any different to last time?
Well, I think there's it's kind of more back to normal after the COVID shutdown. I think there's kind of more players available maybe, and just because things are back to normal and people are heading overseas and stuff like that. But I think a big difference is just kind of knowing what kind of team I want. I mean, last year going in as a first year coach, you have an idea obviously of what you think you want, and then obviously there's some tweaks and stuff. But I think Finner's been around the league forever, and he's kind of invaluable to have helping me out there. But I think one thing I learned last year is just what it takes to kind of have that continued or sustained success, and
Mm.
just kind of, I guess, hone in more on the type of player and person that we want.
Yeah, definitely. I suppose without giving your secrets away, for us that don't really know what kind of goes on behind the scenes, what is the process of scouting out new players? How do you go about finding them and linking up with people?
Well, some are. I haven't been out of the game too long, so some are some guys I've played with, or kind of through a mutual friend. Agents will kind of send out lists, and you kind of, I guess, zero in on certain guys there, and then certain players around the league, obviously, that you target, and you know what, a lot of them don't work out, and guys have some options and whatever. But it's just kind of staying, I guess, honest or true to ourselves. What kind of player we want to bring in. Obviously, the budget stuff is the budget as well. You have to kind of fit the pieces in, but yeah, it is fun. It's, yeah, I guess you get to meet a lot of different people that way, talking on the phone, and like I said, I talk to Finner all the time, so it's busy, but it's cool. It's kind of nice being able to build your own team, and I think last year with the success that we had, and kind of this direction the team's going, we want to retain like a good core of that group.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's kind of what a lot of people are really excited to kind of hear. Who's our favourites coming back, and they're kind of waiting for that desperately. Um, I suppose with we saw Zach Herman was the first person announced to leave. Now, as a coach, was it more difficult saying goodbye to people this year than when you're a player, or is it feel the same?
It's just kind of part of the job, both as a player and a coach, especially in Europe where most of the contracts are kind of year to year. There's a lot of turnover, and you know what? I loved having Zach on the team. He's a great kid. He was a really good player. He just kind of had his reasons. He wanted to go explore a different part of the world, and you know what? It is what it is. Would
Yeah.
like to have him back, but you don't really dwell on that too much. You just got to move on, and despite what some of the fans think, we do have some signings done already here. So, well, just because we haven't announced them yet, they are done. But we have some good players coming in, both returners and some new faces too. I think it's an exciting time right now to be a Storm fan.
Definitely. Um, I don't suppose you're able to hint at kind of how much of the roster is full.
I would say we're getting pretty close. I think across Europe, it moves pretty quick now that things are back to normal. I think you look around the league, a lot of teams, some have announced more than others. I think we're just kind of getting into that now. We just like to keep everyone waiting, I guess. But no, it's we're definitely the roster's taking shape.
I suppose last year, sort of, you seemed to focus on running quite a young team, opening up opportunities for guys. Is that the same kind of core that you're going for this year, or is there a different way you're heading?
Yes and no. I mean, I think it's important to have kind of youth on the team that brings the energy and the life each day. And you look at kind of some of the older teams in the league that maybe slow down a little bit during the dog days of the season. And I think it's important to kind of keep that life and that energy and that kind of youthfulness, I guess, to the ice every day. And I mean, our motto is like you got to come to the rink and you work hard. That's just expected, but like that's fun. It's fun working hard and fun getting rewarded for your hard work. And so I think the youth helps drive the energy at practice, energy on the bench, energy at games. But then I think you want a good mix too of guys who have been around and have that experience, and you can kind of rely on, especially me as a young coach, guys who I can rely on that have been through it. And yeah, I think it's good to have a good mix.
Yeah. I suppose I know the import rules didn't massively change, sort of adding another one in. Did that change your game plan at all?
A little bit. Just I guess obviously you throw an extra import in, it's where I think it's best fit, whether it's up front or on the back end or in net or whatever. So I don't want to give away too much there, but yeah, we just kind of adds an extra import somewhere, so the dynamic does change a little bit.
Yeah. I suppose we got our first announced signing of Sam. We spoke to him yesterday. What did you see in him when you were looking him up?
Well, I think you look at after first off, he was a captain at a great school at McGill. I think he's a high character guy, which is what a big focus for us in Manchester. You want to create a good culture, teams that come and work for each other, play for each other. Where we might not have kind of that one high end player as maybe a Sheffield does or a Belfast or whatever, but how we have successes as a team, and I think he fits right into that model. And then on the ice, I like his energy, his work ethic. He skates well. I think you look at his last year was his first season as a pro, and at first half, I think he'd be the first to tell you it took a little bit of getting used to kind of the pro game, and then second half, I mean, I don't know what his numbers were, but he was just under a point a game guy and someone that they had a pretty good team in Wheeling and someone that played all situations, and that's what he's going to have the opportunity to come in and do for us. So a lot of positives for him, and I expect him to have a big year for us.
Yeah, definitely. I suppose it'd be exciting to see where he kind of clicks into things because he seems to be able to play everywhere and do
Yeah, that's
everything.
another bonus to his versatility. He's able to play center. He can play on the wing. Can play net front on the power play. Can play bumper. He's a guy that he can kind of move all over, and that's something that is very important.
Definitely. Um, One of the things he mentioned sort of in passing when we were talking about what attracted him and sort of what he heard about the league, like a real hot topic floating around since Scott Conway's open criticism of the EIHL referees. I guess, is that coming up in like your scouting interviews with guys? Are people picking up on that? Is it causing ripples?
It hasn't came up yet. I mean, the refs aren't perfect. You look at the NHL and there's calls that go back way. Like players aren't perfect either, coaches, whatever. So it's like it's a human element of it. I think. I mean, they try their best, and that's kind of what you ask for them, I guess. But no, that to go back to your question, none of the players have brought that up. And then yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it seems like it'd be good to put more sort of resources in, but obviously that's finding the resources, and it'd be good to kind of invest in them because they are needed for the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
I think part of it too is like the game in the UK has just gotten so much better quality. It's gotten faster. So like obviously there is going to be a bit of a learning curve over the last, I guess I'd say especially the last 5 years. The game has really taken off. The level of play has gotten better. The imports that come in are higher end, and so it makes the game faster. I mean, it's probably the fastest game in the world, and that's I think even at the NHL level, it's getting faster, and you see the refs kind of adjusting to that.
Yeah, definitely. Um,
I don't envy their job, that's for sure.
no, I don't. I mean, you're always going to be on someone's bad books by the end of the night, so
Yeah.
it's a hard job. Um, I suppose recently we've had a lot coming out in the rumor mill. There's been some interesting leaks, intentional or unintentional. We've seen sort of like Barnsley College accidentally sort of speaking about Alex Oldale, and we've seen things about CJ Garcia. I don't know if you can tell us anything about the things or the people to come.
There could be some truth to it, could not be. I'm not sure.
Sure. Thanks, Matt. Um, our preseason games got announced. It seems like the season's starting a little later this year. Is there any reason for that?
So I think it's a little out of my pay grade, but I believe it's because GB went back up to the
Ah,
top flight there. I think there's a I don't know, like a camp or something like that during the season that kind of pushed it back. That's kind of my understanding of it. I could be way off base. I'm not sure, but yeah, that's a little out of my realm.
yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense though. Um, I suppose in terms of we've got our games announced. How do the games get assigned for preseason? Is there a system, or do teams sort of just make an agreement?
That's kind of a better question for Finner. I think we obviously teams don't want to travel too far for the most part, so that's probably part of it. And then everybody wants to get, I mean, a game or two in front of their home fans too to kind of build up the excitement for the year. So I'm sure all that goes into it. And then again, I just kind of let Ryan do what he does, and we'll be showing up ready to play whenever that is.
Sure. So it's more sort of a GM decision around the clubs, is it?
Yeah.
Learn that too. Cool. Um, so I mean, considering your sort of coaching year, it went well for the first year. Bringing us up to sixth. Um, what are your personal goals as coach for this season coming up?
Well, everybody, you ask any coach during the offseason, they think the team looks good, but I think we're building an exciting team. The goal is to compete. We want to be right at the top of the table. Everybody says it, but again, I think we made big strides last year, but it should almost just kind of light some fuel in guys' bellies here. Like we got a taste of the playoffs, but we lost, and so obviously you want to improve on that and get to the playoff weekend, and whatever you win it, you get hot for a weekend, you can take that title. And but we want to be in the mix for everything. I think a big um, emphasis last season was, yeah, Manchester hasn't we hadn't had the success that we wanted the last few years, but the tides are turning. Like we want to compete. We want to compete every night. I thought for the most part last year, obviously every team has some tough nights and whatever, but we beat I think everybody in the league last year. So we showed we can compete, and it's just kind of find that consistency and doing it for a full season.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So it sounds like some exciting times up ahead. A busy kind of few months for you, working everything behind the scenes. I suppose that's everything from my end. Really appreciate you taking the time out today. I hope that you do get some downtime, get to enjoy things at least once the wedding's out of the way.
Yeah,
Really
yeah,
looking
it'll
forward
be
to seeing you
yeah
soon.
a bit of a whirlwind, but no, it should be a good weekend.
Definitely. When do you plan on returning to the UK?
So I'll head back over start of August. Yeah.
Is that
Um,
when training starts, is it? When everyone's in?
yeah, I think the players report kind of first week of September or so, and then we start training camp from there and get into it. And like I said, I'm excited for the year. I know Ryan's excited for the year. Should be a fun one. Hopefully, well, we'll start announcing players here soon. I know the fans are chomping at the bit, but no, again, I thought one like last year, the fan support was unbelievable. That playoff game at home against Sheffield was the best crowd and loudest crowd I've seen in the shelter, and hopefully we can pick up right from where we left off.
Definitely. And I think it was only announced yesterday, sort of the season ticket price, the early bird price is staying the same. So more reason for people to get in and help sort of rock the storm shelter again.
Absolutely, yeah.
Good stuff. Well, thanks for taking time out, Matt. Hopefully we'll catch you later on in the year, but enjoy your summer and we'll speak to you soon.
Awesome. Thank you. Talk to you soon.